hear the voice, I hear the war, I hear the sound on a distant shore. I feel the spirit of yesterday. I touch the past when the pipers play. The pipes kept playing for you and me. They kept on saying, we'll soon be free, and your soul will never fade away. You'll live forever when the pipers play.
I have power, high power for freedom to wake the burning soul. I have sonnets that through the ancient hills like a torrent's voice might roll. I have pealing notes of victory that might welcome kings from war. I have the rich, deep tones to send the wail from a hero's death afar.
You're in touch with the past. The sense of being at one with the generations of long ago is totally unique. We would all feel this tremendous emotional, atavistic, draw inside us. The music fits in so well to the sea, the river, the loch, the glen, the mountain behind you.
I think it has something very special beyond all the other instruments, something almost primitive. I think the bagpipes are one of the most powerful instruments in the whole world. I think they've given people the inspiration to write wonderful poems, songs. So many words have been written about the bagpipes.
To the make of a piper goes 7 years of his own learning and 7 generations before. At the end of the 7 years, one born to it will stand at the start of knowledge, and leaning a fond ear to the throne, he may have parley with old folks of old affairs.
Did you hear the light feet marching down the birch-clad glen? Did you see the piper's streams floating far behind the men? Did you hear the brave tunes ringing as they swung the droves on high? You watched them forever in Kent. You hear the long march down.
A piper's dress, his proud swing, expressed the grandeur attached to the national music as well today as it did in the days when a piper was a power in the land.
The piper was always an important man in the chief's reckoning. A chief's house would be surrounded by small cottages containing his bard and his henchmen and people like that, but there would always be one for the piper. The piper was a gentleman. He even had a gillie that had his pipes for him.
The piper was highly esteemed as a musician. His reputation represented the clan's glory and greatness.
Lady Mary MacDonald came across the piper one day, sitting out in the sun, and said to him, "Good heavens, have you know what to do?" And he looked at her and he said, "It's a poor house," he said, "that can't keep the chief and the piper without work."
The clan piper was a man of war. He played before battle, then handed his pipes to his servant, drew his broadsword, and joined in with the rest. The effect of the war pipe on the Gaelic races was ably described by the writer MacDonagh. It has magic in it. It transforms the game, reawakens in the depths of their being impressions, moods, feelings, inherited from a wild, untamed ancestry. Thus gives them more than strong wine, that strength of arm, and that endurance of soul, which makes them invincible.
We are hundred on. We are hundred pipers and on. We up them up. We are hundred pipers and on. All soldier lads looked broad and broad, with their tartan belts and with their bonnets and feathers and glittering gear, and pibroch sounding sweet and clear. We are hundred on. We are hundred pipers and we'll up them up. We are hundred pipers and
Today the clans still gather to the sound of the pipes, but instead of war, they're gathering for the more sociable pastime of a Highland Games. Traditional games are for most Highlanders, whether dukes, chieftains or crofters, a fine day out with all the fun of the fair. But for pipers, the games are an opportunity to display their musical skills and show the dominance of the bagpipe over other instruments. Away with your fiddles and flutes, says music for wedding or ball. Pianofortes, clarionets, lutes, the bagpipe surpasses them all. Ireland developed the bagpipe before Scotland. A two-droned instrument was in use until the 18th century. Its effect was best described in 1566 by the great Italian music theorist Vincenzo Galilei. The bagpipe is much used by the Irish. To its sound, this unconquered, fierce and warlike people marched their armies and it carried each other to deeds of valor. It accompanies the dead to the grave, making such mournful sounds as to force the bystanders to weep. The bagpipe is not one instrument, but the name for a variety of instruments. During the Middle Ages, bagpipes could be found in every country in Europe.
At the end of the Middle Ages, the instruments of the orchestra began to appear, or at least the forerunners of them, and people began to have music in their homes. And so it was really quieter instruments they wanted. They didn't want the big loud sound of a Highland bagpipe. And in that way, bagpipes began to fade away and became museum pieces.
Gentler forms of the bagpipe evolved, such as the Ulen pipes from Ireland and the Northumbrian pipes from England, whose chanter scale can be extended by the use of keys. Another extraordinary bagpipe is the French musette, with its short adjustable drone. These instruments are blown by bellows instead of the mouth.
This part, which would normally correspond to the mouthpiece in the Highland pipes, into the section which would be your mouth, but it's actually the bellows where the air comes from. And you would strap your arm into the bellows here, like that, and then blow the air through here. And after that, it's just much the same as the Highland pipes, same fingering.
The Great Highland Bagpipe is the most advanced form of bagpipe in the world. It consists of a bag, a blowpipe and a chanter. Its 3 drones, 1 bass and 2 tenors, mean the chords are quite different from other bagpipes. Today's pipe makers have not neglected traditional methods. The 2 key components are good wood and good craftsmen. The bag is usually made of sheepskin or hide, and the sound comes from cane reeds, which vibrate when air is passed through them. Its construction prompted the old Gaelic proverb, "There's meat and music here," said the fox as he ran off with the bagpipe.
Apart from humans, the bagpipe has a very, very distinctive effect on animals. Horses love bagpipes and cows love bagpipes. Dogs hate the bagpipe. They sit down and howl like wolves. I nearly got knocked over by a golden retriever one time when I was playing the pipes. They could run out and punch me right in the chest. The bagpipe is different from other instruments in that we have continuous sound. And so this is something you don't get a chance of a break. There's no stopping of the tune once it starts up. The other thing is it has an unusual scale.
Just by the way it's constructed with the octave and the extra low G and the pitch of the high G.
I know that the high G, for example, has an effect on people. The late Robert Reid said that the high G had a sexual effect on women. I never tried it myself, but I don't know if it works.
Another major effect of the bagpipe on people is dance music. Highlanders have danced to the bagpipe from earliest times. The sword dance, still performed in Highland regiments, originated from the war dances of victorious bandsmen over the crossed swords of the defeated enemies. Highland regiments maintain many customs associated with piping. At social occasions, the pipe major will take a ceremonial dram, poured for him, into a quaig by the host.
All pipers are expected to drink whiskey, and pipers are expected to drink neat whiskey. And when you get this neat whiskey, well, I hope it's good stuff and not pirate stuff. Because you have a horror of having your breath caught or being made to cough or splutter. And you've got to control this. You've got to drink it down like a man. In one gulp, turn it over, kiss the bottom, and put the empty glass on.
And when formalities have ended, the pipes strike up again. This time for the customary eighthsome reel.
Music was a huge part of everyday life in the Highlands of Scotland. It didn't matter what your job was, music was involved to some extent. Many of the songs were work songs and were performed by the women when they were shrinking tweed. So the lyrical content will be things that are happening in the village that particular week, whether they're milking their cow or whether somebody's getting married. That's what the song will be about.
It could be anything. It could be Donald coming back from the market with 20 cows instead of the normal 10, you know, so they write a good tune about it. So it's very much part of the way of life.
There's a very vibrant side to Gaelic music, which is dance-based, and many of the songs are Pushtabia, which is Gaelic mouth music, which was actually written at the time of the 45 rebellion, and the playing of the bagpipes was banned, and the wearing of the kilt was banned, and so they would have to make up songs for dancing.
Shishani Shana Marakin, Chulabadu, Diddy, Ayi, Nakana Marakin, Chulabadu, Diddy, Ayi, Nakana Marakin, Chulabadu, Diddy, Shishani Shana Marakin, Namarakin, Namarakin, Shishani Shana Marakin, Chulabadu, Diddy. Lark the Hakachin, Lark the Toyin, Lark the Dog, and a burst of the Mila, say, Chilam, 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 Bishop and Hamish, Lark the Hakachin, Lark the Toyin, Lark the Dog, and a burst of the Mila, say, Chilam, Chilam, Bishop and Hamish, Rat for the Cushion, and Rat for the Cushion, and Rat for the Cushion, and looking for the hair, and say, Chilam, Chilam, Bishop and Hamish. I couldn't go, I said, Chili, pick up the phone, I couldn't go, I said, Chili, pick up yarn, Chili, pick up the phone, Chili, pick up yarn, Chili, pick up the phone, I couldn't go, I said, Chili, pick up yarn, couldn't go, I said, Chili, pick up the phone, I couldn't go, I said, Chili, pick up yarn, Chili, pick up the phone, Chili, pick up yarn, Chili, pick up the phone. I couldn't go, I said, Chili, pick up yarn.
The Highland bagpipe is unquestionably a folk instrument and differs little from its medieval ancestor, and folk still appreciate great playing when they hear it.
If you're playing for an audience who aren't too familiar with the traditional music, they're wanting to hear something a wee bit flash, some fancy fingering, and if that's what the people want, and the people do enjoy that kind of stuff, I do enjoy playing that kind of music.
Recently, there's been a move by top pipers to incorporate the ancient instrument with contemporary music.
The music is so evocative, it creates pictures, it creates images, and it lets the culture breathe, basically. In fact, a lot of the songs that we get are researched from transcriptions of pipe tunes. The bagpipe and its music is essential to us and the type of thing we do. It's the backbone of the music that we play.
Some of the songs we do, they're very old songs, but yet they're given very modern treatment, and so there's a lot of old and a lot of new there. It's drawing on the old song and the rhythms, of course. So that's what we're drawing on the tradition and setting it into a modern context.
We take traditional songs that can be up to 300-400 years old, and they might be songs of love or work or unrequited love, etc., etc. I suppose we just use our influences, what's going on in the 20th century musically.
It doesn't matter where you travel in the world. People often ask us, as exponents of the Gaelic culture, do we feel that singing in Gaelic has been a hindrance in our career? I would say it's been the complete opposite. It doesn't matter where we travel in the world. People are always mesmerised by the Gaelic songs more than anything else, just because I think they have a presence all of their own. I think it is something that comes from within and which crosses all boundaries.
There's a kind of Celtic bloodline, if you like, that runs through most of the world, and people can relate to that.
The notes involved in sort of most folk music, Hungarian, Turkish, Scottish, Irish, Indian, there's a certain thread that runs through the whole thing, and that is a drone with a sort of notes that go along with it. And so there's a lot of similarity with a lot of the folk music, which is why there are pipes in most countries. I love the idea of incorporating traditional instruments inside the framework of contemporary music.
songs about the early Scots settlers to North America fit very well with the old tunes. There's a sense of the characters and their lives in the music. The legend of Duncan Campbell at the Battle of Ticonderoga was set in 1758 when the British and French fought for control of North America. An American colonial soldier at the time sent a dispatch home describing the place.
Commanded by the Marquis de Montcalm, the most important French fort guarded the approach to Lake Champlain, where it meets Lake George, an area of exceptional beauty. The Indian name for this place is Ticonderoga, which means meeting of the waters.
Campbell left his homeland to fight across the sea, troubled by a vision that wove his destiny. He would remain there, came a warning from the dead. Ticonderoga, it sang within his head. Ticonderoga, meeting on the water, land of great beauty, where many still live. Ticonderoga, war pipes echo over, ghosts of Highland men who fought that fateful day.
And in the far, far distant west, where deep and pathless forests lower, thou sooth'st the deepest exile's breast through many a lonely hour.
In the New World, in Canada and America, there is a tremendous cult of the bagpipe, and there are some magnificent pipers. They're superb, these young players.
Piping has spread to every corner of this continent. It's hard now to go somewhere and not find pipers.
Despite many good players, North America still lacks centres of learning, and top pipers from Scotland are needed to pass on the knowledge gained from the old masters.
I moved to the United States to teach at Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh. The university offers a piping degree where a student can actually major in bagpiping, and I believe it's the only major degree that you can get in piping.
Donald Lindsay is one of America's few professional piping instructors. He dedicated his life to understanding the music.
To me, an amazing thing about pipe music is how it gets into my mind. I can be driving along in a car and a tune comes through my mind, and the next thing I know I'm playing it. My students laugh sometimes because if they ride anywhere with me, I'm often playing a tune on the steering wheel, or sometimes when I'm sitting at a meeting, I'm picking up a pencil and playing a tune. It seems an important thing to do.
It's a sound that is so different from anything else. I can still go to Highland Games, and when I hear 100, 200 pipers playing, the shivers are running up and down my spine. It's important at all to be of Scottish or Irish descent to play or to want to play. More and more people are exposed to piping through events such as the Highland Games, and children now are saying to their parents, I don't want to take piano lessons, I want to learn how to play bagpipe.
Oban is home to the Argyllshire Gathering, and pipers have been gathering here since 1871 For the serious piper, it's serious business. The Argyllshire Gathering hosts one of the 5 great piping competitions in the world. It is for the very best, and Angus MacColl is up there amongst them.
I do enjoy competing. I enjoy learning the tunes, and I think playing in the competition atmosphere quite often brings the best out in me. The first memory I ever have of the pipes is through my father. He used to play the pipes. He'd be practicing in the house and getting ready to go to things. I was here playing then. And I used to strap on a wee set of pipes when I was only young and walk up and down behind them.
I'm very proud of Angus and what he does. I think any wife should be proud. Angus is very dedicated and he's very talented. And I feel that Angus has a natural talent and is a very musical player.
In preparation for the piping competition at Oban, Angus MacColl must practice with his tutor. What they're practicing is pibroch, the classical music of the bagpipe. Not to everyone's taste.
People will say to you, I like listening to marches, Swiss bass, reels, jigs, the fast stuff, but I don't play any of that pibroch. I think pibroch is the kind of music that grows on you. The more you understand it, the more you get familiar with it, the more you enjoy it.
To understand and appreciate the refinements of classical pibroch, we must know the cantata. That's a vocalized form of writing music before present-day staff notation. But today, with staff notation, do we need the cantata?
Staff notation is barred to music 2/4, 3/4 and comic time. And there's a rigidity within these bars which you do not find in the country. Just to give you one example. Taking the first bar of good. That's how it's written. But the way it is propounded in the counter is like this. Smoother and more, it has more rhythm to it.
It was at Dunvegan Castle on the Isle of Skye that the MacLeods of MacLeod appointed as their pipers a family called MacCrimmon.
The MacCrimmons appeared in Skye somewhere about the 15th century, and they developed bagpipe music away from just being songs and dance music to pibroch, which is the only music on the bagpipe which real top musicians are interested in.
Where the MacCrimmons came from, we don't know. It matters little to me where they were, because they left us a legacy second to none in the classical music of the Great Highland Bagpipe.
When you play an old tune with a history behind it, you can put more feeling into the tune. And when you play a pibroch, I can actually lose myself in the pibroch so much that I forget where I am while I'm playing the tune, because you're so involved in the tune itself.
Well, pibroch is in fact a variation on a ground or theme. The piper plays this theme and then he plays it again but with different embellishments on it. When we've finished, really exerted our fingers to the most to produce all the embellishments we can on the theme, and then the piper goes back and plays the ground at the end. It's like the illuminated pages of the manuscripts show the serpent with its tail in its mouth. They never have an ending, you see, as it links up again with the beginning. And so pibroch does the same thing.
The bagpipe, they say, is an outdoor instrument best suited to glens and windswept moor. But at the Argyllshire gathering, the serious business of a piping competition, the Senior Pibroch for Champions, is not held in the distracting surroundings of a chieftain's castle, but in the more austere atmosphere of a local hotel, with a strip of tartan tacked to the wall.
I find competitive piping a challenge to me. It's the only thing I've ever known since I was 4.5. You make a name for yourself as you go through the years, and it's hard to live up to your name. It's hard to get there, but it's harder to stay there.
If you want to win the top prizes, you have to put the preparation in, you have to put the time in, and there's no substitute for that. But you have to have the bagpipe played regularly. You can't just go to the box and pick them up after a month lying under the bed and expect to get the tone right away.
A lot of that music has been passed on orally over the centuries. When you have an oral tradition, I think you have a great depth and soulfulness.
The standard of piping in the Senior Pibroch competition amazes even the most experienced judge.
It's quite marvellous just what one can produce from 9 notes.
You know, with your bass drone, your tenor drones, you know, all in tune with your chanter, and all those notes are perfect through. It's pleasing and musically something to the ear.
And if the pipes go well and you play a good tune without any mistakes and you're happy yourself, it's a good feeling.
We all got up to do our best and hope that the guy who's played the best tune on the day wins the best prize. We all want to win it ourselves, but not at all costs.
If I was as good at golf as I was at piping, I'd be a multi-millionaire. You know, I'd be retired by now. It'd be great. You do it for the love of the thing. That's all there is to it.
I remember my father telling me when I was starting off playing, he was playing and I was saying, if I could just play the tunes the way you're playing them, I'd be quite happy with that. You must enjoy doing that. And he said, you're never satisfied with your own performance.
Angus will continue his music until his fingers all still work for him. If you have music in the heart, then you'll play as long as you can.
The tradition of the instrument is martial. The piper went to war. When the Highland regiments were recruited during the course of the 18th century, the role of the piper grew in importance. Wherever the Scots soldier has gone, the pipes have spurred him to greater endeavour.
If you're abroad, you're fighting in a war, your morale may be down, you hear the pipes, suddenly it all becomes more worthwhile. You know, it draws you together, it motivates you, and it stirs up the blood, if you like.
We are Say less, my bonny laddie, and come awa. It is over the mountains and over the main, through Gibraltar, France and Spain, with a feather deer bonnet and a kilt of Indian knee. Say less, my bonny laddie, and come awa with me. It is over the mountains and over the main, through Gibraltar, France and Spain, with a feather deer bonnet and a kilt of Indian knee. Say less, my bonny laddie, and come awa with me.
Wild notes playing, streamers flying, defiance to the foe was thrown. Exposed, undaunted, marched the hero, playing round the square alone.
If you attach a piper to a company of fighting soldiers, he does become a bit of a figurehead. He would be playing for them at parties, he'd be playing for them in the valley in the morning, he'd be playing for them on route marches. So you could imagine maybe the company getting ready to go over the top in the trenches and the company saying to the come on piper, give us a tune.
I think that most pipers realise how important they are to the troops. There's a subconscious feeling that you have a responsibility to the troops. You're there, you're the piper, you must live up to it.
It was bred into us, I guess. The pipes were Scottish. Nobody else played the pipes like what we did. It's different from anything else, you see. They've got a different sound than any other instrument.
We'd be on our knees. Our eyebrows would be brushing the sand. We'd be dead tired. And the pipes would play ill and ready. And we were soldiers again. The pipes mean a lot to us.
The role of playing into battle, which took a lot of courage and coolness, appealed to the piper. It was a Highland gesture to show his bravery and encourage his comrades.
Perhaps he started marching up and down in the trench, but I'm sure once he saw a few getting active and ready to go, he'd maybe leap up and give them an example. He would just get fired up with the enthusiasm in the battle, I would think.
The troops think it's a great thing. It's a great boost to them. To think that they're being piped into action and they can hear the pipes, especially if the majority are Scots. They think there's nothing like it than to hear the pipes in the battlefield.
The enemy soon realized the value of the war pipes.
I would think that I would be pretty shaken if I saw a body of men advancing fearlessly on me, being headed by a lone piper. It would make me wonder. No, if I was in the position of the enemy and saw it, I think I'd shoot the piper.
The cry is in my ear, the sight is in my eye. This is the dawning of the day that shall see me die.
All men suffer from fear, but the quality is in combating it and not letting people see you're afraid. I don't suppose a pipe is much different from anybody else when it comes to that, but certainly the act of playing would help to drown his fear a little. Even the sound of the instrument in his own ears.
I had hundreds of tunes in my head, and I'd played whatever had happened to come into my head, that's what I'd play.
Time and again, pipers fulfilled their historic role in open fighting. During World War I, Eyewitness accounts told of bravery and inspiration.
Pipers of the Black Watch led the attack, and with their characteristic fury, vanished into the smoke. The only evidence that remained...
Sir, I regret to report the 5th Camerons lost 3 pipers killed. The brave notes filled the air for barely a minute. The pipers, choking and suffocating from the gas.
The Argyll pipers played through the murderer's barrel. A bullet hit one in the mouth, and another at his forearm. The pipe major had already played over 3 lines of German trenches until he too fell under a hail of fire.
And then you turn around and say, where are you? When you look around and he's not there, then you look the other side. And he's gone too, he's just lying beside you, just missing.
I was lucky to come back. They were falling all around me.
You're going forward, your head down, your bayonet forward, you know. You know you were going to your death.
Before dawn o' day, now there's a morning on Elka green lawn, and the flowers of the forest are all weed away. We'll hae nae Lelton at the Yowmelken. Woman and bairns are heartless and wae, sighing and moaning on Elka green lawn, and the flowers of the forest are all weed away.
The world has known the sound of the pipes in one form or another for 5,000 years. From the simple reed pipe of biblical times to the great Highland bagpipe of today, the sound remains primal. people throughout the world have been stirred by the music of the great Highland bagpipe. Its effect has been far-reaching.
It's infiltrated my life quite strongly, this whim to play the bagpipes.
Such is the universal appeal. The Scottish Highland bagpipe has never been in better health, both in its homeland and overseas.
I've had many deep emotional and spiritual experiences listening to and playing the pipes. I don't know what I would do without it.
I love playing the bagpipes. Any Gaelic singer who has grown up through the tradition I have grown up feels a very strong bond with the Highland bagpipes.
When the pipes are going really well, they've been great for, or if there's a good session going or whatever, it's a very, very special feeling.
I think the bagpipe is more than important. Its vibrancy is what we need in a fairly hardened old world. It's a light.
I think if you hear a finely tuned set of pipes being played well, there's no other sound like it, there's no other instrument like it.